Hey guys, as you could tell I'm wearing the Rockford jersey again, so I'm going to be talking about Blackhawks prospects. And what I think you should be looking forward for the upcoming season for being who would make the Blackhawks in the fall in this upcoming season. Who I believe. It may not come into fruition, but it's players I believe who come in. Well, let's start off with our number 2 ranked prospect in our prospect pool, but going from last season he was ranked number 1, but with us drafting Adam Boqvist he moved down to number 2. So let's start off with Henry Haru, a two-way defenseman, which the Hawks need. Clearly, they did not have that last year. And he is going to be he will be bona fide as a clear fan favorite from the beginning due to the fact he was drafted in Chicago. Him being in Chicago, he probably will be paired up with Duncan Keith, who I believe would pair up well with him due to the fact Keith is a legend. Haru is a young defenseman who's only 19. Haru can learn from a legend like Keith, who was a great two-way forward in his prime, which he's no longer in, which is unfortunate. But look out for Haru. Then next up, Victor Ejdsell. Ejdsell came into the Blackhawks last year by trade for Hartman. He played a few games with the Blackhawks, only had 1 point, but he never played on NHL size ice. He's always played for international size ice, which is bigger. He would be a player to look for on the line, probably with Artem Anisimov, maybe with Taze. I don't know yet. It's just who I believe he pairs up with best, and I think it might be with Artem Anisimov if Artem Anisimov stays with the team, because there's rumors that he might be gone. Next prospect, I will say Matthew Highmore, who came up with the Blackhawks last year again with Excel. He came up with the Blackhawks late in the season because Blackhawks knew they were out. They should bring in prospects to see who can make the roster next year. So look out for Highmore, who scored a goal I think he had 2 goals last year if I'm not mistaken. And he and Excel in the AHL playoffs had a good playoff run, so I would be looking forward for those 2 players. Then next up, I will put them both together. The Sekera brothers, Dylan and Tyler. Tyler is a defenseman who hasn't had a lot of potential yet, but in this prospect camp, it sounds like he's been showing quite a bit of potential and maybe making the roster because he's showing up at the Blackhawks convention tomorrow. Same with Dylan. Dylan is a forward who did play with the Blackhawks last year at the end of the season, and he's a forward. And I actually believe Dylan pairs up best with Taze and Sod on the same line. He's that two-way forward the Hawks have needed, who can fit in with Taze and Sod. He plays a style of play from what I remember watching him kind of like Marian Hossa. He has more speed. When Hossa was young, he had a lot of speed. But I wanted to make this video short and sweet because it was just a quick prospect video on who to look forward for in the upcoming season. So leave down in the comments below on what Blackhawks prospects you believe make the roster opening night or during the season. And make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And most of all, let's go Hawks!